The final piece of the Panthers puzzle now in place. Carolina got their guy, taking Bryce Young with the first overall pick.
It completes an offseason overhaul. The team brought in a new coach, new players, and tried to energize a fan base desperate for a winning team.
We have team coverage tonight from Charlotte to Kansas City, breaking down why the Panthers chose Young and reaction from fans. Let's begin with WFMY News 2's Amanda Ferguson. Get used to seeing these four faces a lot over the next few months. We now know the matchup, and we're getting to know one of the nominees better.
Vice presidential nominee J.D. Vance addressed the nation for the first time tonight since Donald Trump picked him as his running mate. The report quotes messages allegedly by Robinson saying things like, quote, "I'm a black Nazi." Another message reading, quote, "I'm a perv." The Toyota battery plant keeps giving the triad a jolt. Originally, the company announced the facility was going to be worth more than $1 billion. Now it's closer to $6 billion. And next week, the company has more news that could be even bigger. As we wait, WFMY News 2's Julie Luck spoke with Toyota workers who jumped at the chance to live and work in North Carolina.
Today marks 30 years of Panthers football, 3 decades filled with highs like the Cam Newton years and lows like the past few years. Tonight, we're turning back the clock and walking through every moment that turned this team into what it is.
UNC football is in the national spotlight for the first time in a while. If you've checked any sports social media this week, it's been all about Bill in Chapel Hill.
Absolutely. UNC Chancellor Lee Roberts says excellence has to extend to athletics, and they've got the guy with the background to make it happen. 8 Super Bowl wins, 6 as a head coach, 2 as an assistant, more than 300 games won. There's only 1 0 on this guy's resume, and that's years coaching college football.
An unprecedented nightmare grows by the hour.
If you aren't prepared, you know, it is hard. It's hard on a lot of people.
Throw somebody a smile.
Countless people are missing. Even more are without power or a steady supply of water.
And we do expect another 3 to 4 or 5 days of most people being without power.
People out west are blocked off from the rest of the United States. In Black Mountain, dozens have signed a sheet to say they're safe, hoping to get it to loved ones.
Parts of our state are unrecognizable tonight. A blitz of relief efforts are underway and will continue for weeks.
An overwhelming disaster matched with a relentless push to help. Tonight on WFMY News 2. The direction of the country coming into focus. A non-stop blitz of campaign visits culminate in one historic night.
National trends trickle down into what happens at home. A race too close to call for weeks. Every vote matters tonight.
In our state, we're learning the new leaders from Greensboro to the governor's mansion, your next superintendent, next state representative, attorney general, and governor, all determined by your voice and your vote.
It's election night in North Carolina. WFMY News 2 at 11 starts right now. Glimmers of hope emerge from the wreckage. The Old North State is finding light while surrounded by so much darkness.
The outpouring here has been remarkable. People that don't have anything are sharing what they do have with their neighbors.
So that's what we're trying to help out as people to get out and get things they need.
Stories of resilience fill areas torn apart by Helene. Like many fallen trees around North Carolina, the spirit of our state is bent, not broken.
We can't see it right now, but we will come back stronger.
Helping hands, hope in the face of heartache, Helene's continued havoc. Tonight on WFMY News 2. A building off the side of a mountain. A man shares how he narrowly avoided getting caught in the destruction. Meantime, relief efforts are growing in the mountains. How Samaritan's Purse is meeting the need for health care. And students out west need somewhere to go. Colleges around the state have stepped up.
I feel like I'm with family, like it really is super welcome.
A look at how triad schools are helping out.
More storms on the way, and not so fast. We've got our eyes on the tropics, separating fact from fiction.
Plus, how App State has balanced preparing for a football game with caring for people in the high country. WFMY News 2 at 11 starts right now.
A fallen officer escorted away from his final call. A lifelong public servant now relies on the service of others.
Greensboro officer Michael Horan gunned down in a packed Food Lion.
Everybody started running towards the door, and I just grabbed my granddaughter.
A husband, father, and veteran taken away 2 days before Christmas.
He had an outstanding reputation inside the department and in the community.
A memorial grows outside of Greensboro Police Headquarters. Flowers and a teddy bear don a police cruiser.
A woman overcome with emotions stopped to pray.
It is heartbreaking because we love this community.
A hero honored by his city.
A city collectively crying out and asking why this happened again. WFMY News 2 at 11 starts right now. The body of a Greensboro police officer is no longer in the city after someone shot and killed him today. The fallen hero was taken from the store where he lost his life to Raleigh for an autopsy. Good evening, I'm Julie Luck.
And I'm Sydney Moore. First responders lined Lawndale Drive onto the urban loop as the body of Officer Michael Horan made its way onto the highway. It capped a difficult and emotional day as the city of Greensboro mourns an officer. The medical examiners will complete a full autopsy and deliver its findings to investigators.
We learned a lot of new information tonight about the deadly shooting. The SBI released a timeline earlier tonight.
Investigators say Horan confronted a man inside the Food Lion after a call about a man with a gun. The SBI says the two got into a fight and there was a struggle. It says the suspect then shot Horan before driving off. The officer did not have time to draw his weapon. We are waiting to learn the name of the man accused of killing a hero. The suspect was spotted in Johnston County 2 hours after the shooting. Johnston County is about 1 hour and 45 minutes away from Greensboro. Deputies in the area and Highway Patrol started chasing after him. Troopers say they crashed into him while he was going 85 miles an hour. A viewer sent us a picture of the suspect's vehicle with damage. And that same viewer sent us a picture of the suspect in custody in Duplin County. The SBI says deputies arrested him there after the chase. That's almost 3 hours away from Greensboro. It says charges are pending. And we have live team coverage tonight looking into the man that Horan was and how leaders are remembering him.
We're also hearing from witnesses inside the store during those terrifying moments. We begin with WFMY News 2's Amber Lake with a look at the fallen officer's life and legacy.
Julie, Sydney, a memorial sits outside police headquarters tonight in honor of Officer Michael Horan. Inside, another memorial with a picture of him and part of his uniform. Folks have been coming out all night, all evening really, just paying their respects to the officer.
Strangers leave flowers.
We mourn with his family and everybody else today.
On a patrol car honoring a fallen officer. Others fall to their knees, sending prayers to the family of Officer Michael Horan.
Together we are mourning Officer Horan, who was a husband, a father, a son, a friend, and much more to his family.
You got people that love and care about you out here a lot more than you realize.
A man who dedicated his life to service. Officer Horan was hired by GPD back in 2017, making friendships that will withstand time. He even changed his Facebook profile picture after Sergeant Dale Nix died around this time last year. Officer Horan, a member of the U.S. Coast Guard since January of 2000. He also served as a lieutenant, lifeguard, and instructor at the Beach Haven Beach Patrol in New Jersey from June 1995 to 2017. This man spent his life helping others.
The man goes to work to provide for his family, and now he's dead because of bad people.
I wish I was here dressing under different circumstances. And to put it simply, we're heartbroken.
Officer Horan even won a life-saving award back in 2019 after saving the lives of a father and his son who nearly drowned off of the North Carolina coast. This is who he was, always saving lives. GPD started a fundraiser for Officer Horan's family, and as of right now, they have collected nearly $48,000. The memorial out here tonight continues to grow. Live in Greensboro tonight, Amber Lake, WFMY News 2.
Amber, thank you. And a worker told us tonight that Food Lion will reopen Thursday after Christmas. The company released a statement about today's deadly shooting. Food Lion is deeply saddened by the tragedy that occurred at our store located at 4709 Lawndale Drive, Greensboro. Food Lion is cooperating with authorities, and the store will remain closed while the police investigation continues. We are providing resources to support our associates during this difficult time.
Dozens of people were inside the grocery store when the shots were fired. Among them, a woman and her granddaughter.
WFMY News 2's Itanise McMiller heard from her tonight and others who saw what happened.
Many people's go-to grocery store suddenly became the center of the heinous killing of GPD officer Michael Horan. A grandmother and her 6-year-old granddaughter were just hours away from where shots rang out inside this Food Lion.
You know, one of the employees yells, "Shooting, shooting, get out, get out."
Family is shopping at Food Lion on Lawndale Drive in Greensboro just days before the Christmas holiday, dropped their groceries and ran for their lives.
I heard a pop, 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 pop. And I just grabbed my granddaughter and, left my cart there. And we just, ran.
Ramona Miller quickly got her 6-year-old granddaughter away from the chaos. They were unable to leave, so they sat in the parking lot for up to an hour, where she said she saw EMTs and nearly 50 police vehicles quickly arrive on scene.
I've never seen any instances of robberies or anything like that at this Food Lion. It's been the safest one, as I could say, for myself. For years.
We have a very family-oriented, safe store. We do not experience things like this.
Erin Schoonmaker works for Food Lion and says she was told not to come in for her shift.
This is our lives, our livelihood. We need to feel safe where we stay at.
Greensboro police says Officer Michael Horan was trying to do just that, protect the public. According to the State Bureau of Investigation, Horan was the first officer to respond to a call about a man with a gun inside the grocery store. Investigators say when Horan approached the suspect, there was a short scuffle. Then Horan was shot and killed with no time to arm himself.
I could have been on that side of the grocery store. 10 minutes earlier I was. There was a young lady there that was really traumatized, and she was on the floor and shaking.
The SBI says they were able to catch the suspect in Duplin County after a chase in Johnston County.
I know it's hard for the police department to try to serve a community, and sometimes the community is not embracing the police as well, so something has to change.
The grandmother you just heard from says her granddaughter is tough, but as for herself, she says this experience is going to be hard to live with.
Hi, Denise, thank you. We also talked to a woman by telephone today. She was at the store during all that chaos.
That's right. She says she did not hear any shots. She just saw a bunch of people running. Then an older woman told her what happened.
It was cold, and she was waiting for her sister, and I couldn't leave her out in the cold because today was her birthday, 93 today. So I asked her what was going on. She said somebody is shooting.
What a chaotic situation. City leaders have nothing but praise for Officer Horan. His service clearly left a mark.
I spoke with Greensboro Mayor Nancy Vaughn tonight. She says she struggles understanding why anyone would do this to a public servant.
At a time like this, words are just so inadequate. It's going to take us a while to process what happened. And to meet an end like this is just so unfathomable. So, that is something that always sticks with me. Somebody who gave his life to make sure that we were safe.
We also spoke with City Councilwoman Mary Kay Abuzawader today. She told us her heart is broken for the city and all the first responders who are mourning Officer Horan.
My stomach just hurts so bad because it was not just barely a year ago that our officer Dale Nix was killed, and having those same feelings again was just almost more than I could handle.
Feelings are still very raw. The response from the triad has been overwhelming tonight. Law enforcement agencies from all across our area are sharing their condolences. Among them, the Guilford County Sheriff's Office posted a tribute tonight thanking Officer Horan for his service. The department called his death a devastating loss. Guilford County EMS sent love to the officer's family as they process an unimaginable loss. The director says his agency stands united with all first responders. The High Point Police Department released a statement from the chief. He said no one will ever forget Officer Haran or his sacrifice. Reaction and condolences have come really from everywhere. WFMY News 2's Megan Maleras shows us the support she's seeing online.
When the Greensboro Police Department changed its Facebook profile picture to this, the badge now with a black band across it, it signified the grief we all, as members of this community, feel in our hearts tonight. The end of watch on 12/23/24 for Officer Michael Haran. We've heard condolences pouring in from all across our community tonight. The city of Greensboro tweeting out, Greensboro stands united in mourning and support for Greensboro police. Governor Roy Cooper monitoring the situation throughout the day, saying he has spoken directly with the Greensboro Police Chief John Thompson to offer deepest condolences in this tragedy. He said this officer was courageously doing his duty, protecting Greensboro when he became the victim of a senseless act of violence. We heard from him earlier when he pledged to send state support to Greensboro police as needed. And then this, one of the most powerful photos we received today. It shows a table now inside the Greensboro Police headquarters in downtown. You can see Officer Haran's picture, his flag, his hat, his weapon, and then also a framed prayer. This is the police officer's prayer, and I want to read you just a part of it tonight. It concludes with saying, Lord, if some dark and dreary night I must give my life, Lord, with your everlasting love, protect my children and my wife. We know Officer Haran was a father and a husband, and we as members of the city of Greensboro are thinking about and praying for his family tonight, for their loved one who will not come home because he made the ultimate sacrifice.
Megan, thank you. And Forsyth County Sheriff Bobby Kimbrough knows the pain of telling a family they lost a loved one, and he called it one of the hardest things that he's ever experienced.
He says today's shooting makes you question if there are truly any safe places left. The sheriff says there's never a good time to lose a first responder, but with Christmas just 2 days away, it is especially painful.
What I can tell you is that right now, I think that is a time of surrounding the family with love, surrounding one another with the human touch, because, this time of year, grief is real, and to lose a loved one, period, but to lose a loved one right about this time, the holidays will never be the same. Life will never be the same.
And Kimbrough says he leans on faith during times like these because it helps him cope with something so senseless.
Feeling of losing an officer is sadly familiar for the city of Greensboro. A week from today is the 1-year mark since Sergeant Dale Nix was killed.
Nix saw a group steal beer from a Sheetz on Sandy Ridge Road in Colfax. Police say he tried to stop them, then one of them shot him. Officers arrested an 18-year-old and a 28-year-old on a murder charge. A third suspect faces an accessory after the fact charge. All three are in custody, waiting for their trials to begin.
We heard from Sergeant Nix's uncle today. He sent me a statement on behalf of the family saying this: the Nix family is mourning the death of another Greensboro police officer. Our prayers are with the family and members of the Greensboro Police Department, both active and retired, during these tragic and difficult times.
And we also heard from the Guilford Metro 911 director tonight. She shared just a moving statement.
She says today actually brought her back to Nix's death. The same exact team that worked the day of his death was on duty today. 911 Director Melanie Jones wrote, "I cried today because a man that dedicated his life to public service to not only his state, but the country is gone." She continued saying, "None of us should be going through this again 1 year later."
And no word properly fits today. Awful, heart-wrenching, and shocking only begins to describe what the city of Greensboro feels tonight.
This pain of today will not fade soon. Greensboro police have a memorial inside headquarters of all the officers who have died in the line of duty. Officer Michael Horan will join a somber group as the next picture on this wall.
Greensboro Police Chief John Thompson was out of state today for the holidays, but will be back in the Triad tomorrow. We still have a lot to learn about this case and the tragic hero tragically lost.
We will stay on top of the story to make sure that no one goes without knowing the life, legacy, and service of Officer Horan.